Hello, everybody. Here to talk about today's episode of Beyond the Gates from August 14th, 2025, a Thursday episode. And first of all, let me say that I've seen some complaints online regarding some of these stories, so I know I'm not the only one feeling some kind of way about some of the recent turns in these storylines on Beyond the Gates. I do think the soap has hit a bit of a summer skid right now. Summer's not always the best time for soap operas, though, so I can't really condemn the show that much, but I do hope they start to pick up some steam come September. That is a hope anyway. I've also seen the preview for next week, and I think it's looking like we're going to get some action. As for today's episode, we'll start with June meeting the kids. One of the complaints with this story is that it's not good writing, that the story is kind of giving whiplash. I've seen that all over Twitter and on Reddit, and I kind of agree. My only concern with the story today is that suddenly June is clean off of drugs. She got a makeover to go meet the kids. I think the show said that once she landed in the hospital, that's what made her get clean. It just seems like a very quick recovery for the character. And my concern is that this story already has lacked so much drama that I just don't understand the whole point as it is. So yeah, there's that. I do kind of appreciate the movement, though. Like other comments were saying that, wow, the story is moving too fast because June's and the children are already meeting. Like Samantha and Tyrell had to just make this decision yesterday if they wanted to see their mother, and now they're already meeting. The quickness is good for me because the faster this story moves, the faster we can move on from it. Because it's not like it's providing drama as it is. So I don't have a problem with the pacing of this story. Although June already being clean is a bit much. As for the scenes, I actually was okay with them. They were realistic. Samantha and Tyrell, very uncomfortable to see their mother, who they haven't seen in like 8+ years, who gave them up and had them swallowed up in the system. I think June did her best to like remedy or try to remedy the kids with talking about the pictures she kept of them that all these years, that she really tried to give them away because it was best for them. She was not able to take care of them, which they remember because apparently she used to leave them alone all the time when they were young children. So I was fine with these scenes today. I think the only complaint is that the story still likes drama. On the Smitty and Martin side of things, I think Martin is trying to use this current problem with the kids in his favor of trying to get back in Smitty's good graces. They called a temporary truce, and I don't know. I still would like Smitty to continue to hold Martin's feet to the fire because for too long on the show, Smitty's been a pushover. Moving on to other stories, though. Leslie got a surprise visitor today. Her adopted mother, who goes by Peaches. This was another odd writing decision. I felt like, first of all, Peaches didn't even come until later in the episode. And then we just got a lot of information right away that, oh my God, this is Leslie's mom. And apparently she's Leslie's adopted mom. And apparently Peaches is dying. And now Peaches wants to tell Leslie who her real mom is. This is another story that seems to be moving really fast. Because I guess they can't help but become super plot driven. Which has been my complaint with a lot of stories lately. The plot drivenness is hurting characters. I don't think this is necessarily hurting characters. I think what happened with the Leslie character was they had this really good story to start. She became popular with the fans, but the writing had no idea where to go with her after the big reveal with Ted and Nicole's anniversary party. And since then, she's kind of just been floundering. Yeah, we had the investigation into her, which has been filling all over the place and seemingly been dropped this past several weeks. Um, and it was getting redundant. So I do think they needed something new for Leslie. And I'm not going to complain about the pace to get us there either, because clearly they're going somewhere where she's going to get some money, an inheritance from whoever her real mom is. The speculation is Barbara, one of the articulate that killed herself. And that's going to tie her closer to Anita, probably. There is some good TV that could come out of this, and I do think it's a good change. We just have to get past this awkward, hard part of the story. As for the character of Peaches, it's the same complaint I had yesterday about ages on the show and the casting. I feel like the casting for Peaches, they've casted someone who seems to be around the same age as Leslie. They gave her an older looking wig to try and make her look older. Why not just cast somebody older? The casting on this show is so odd when it comes to casting ages of characters and just the ages of characters in general. They continue to make very odd choices when it comes to that, and that was my problem with the casting, is that they look around the same age. I like that Peaches was able to call Leslie out on some of her shit. It's good to see someone kind of shut Leslie up. But I don't know how long we're going to get this dynamic if Peaches is allegedly dying. We'll see if it's like she's actually going to die, or if it's a soap opera and she's suddenly something's going to save her and she's going to stay alive. But I don't know if Peaches is a long-term character, and I kind of hope not, because of the casting. She looks too young to be Leslie's mom. That's just the way I feel. I'll save Tomas and Kat for last, because I have shit to rant about there. We'll move on quickly to Ted going to Anita and Vernon to complain about Nicole filing for divorce. It was good to see Anita and Vernon call Ted out on his awful attempt of winning Nicole back. He truly has not tried hard at all. He's bought some cards and some flowers and really expected that to work, and it was good to see Anita and Vernon call Ted out on that. And then Nicole's out on another date with Carlton, which of course is bothering Ted to see his work partner out with his wife, which is an odd thing for Carlton to do, first of all. But I do want Nicole to move on, at least for now. I'm not totally against Ted eventually winning Nicole back, but he actually is going to have to try, and he's going to have to stop being an idiot when it comes to Leslie, if I'm ever going to take that seriously. I think they need to give us more Nicole and Carlton, though, and really maybe develop those two on a deeper level, though, because it's going to be hard for me to care about them either unless the show actually puts time and effort into them. And then Tomas and Kat. Kat didn't want to go a second round with Tomas after they had sex. Tomas wanted to try new positions since she didn't want to go again, but Kat still didn't want to go again. And Tomas said he likes a challenge and he's going to figure Kat out. Tomas leaves, and Kat tells Chelsea that Tomas was a bore in the bedroom again. And I found it odd, of course, when Chelsea said that Kat once called Tomas the king of charisma. Because if that's the case, if Kat really felt that way, then Kat is delusional. Because he truly is robotic. And as Himi has said in the comments before, Tomas has a very much an AI voice, and it's hard for me to unsee that or unhear that ever since Himi said that in the comments, because it's the truth. It's an interesting direction to go where Kat is the virgin and she's the one unsatisfied with Tomas. But I guess it's to show us that they just don't have sexual chemistry. The problem I have, though, is that Tomas runs into Eva, and I groaned so loud when it happened because I didn't want to have to see those two interacting. But I feel like that's where the show wants us to go. I do feel like the show wants Tomas and Eva to be the love story because Eva is feeling some kind of way about Tomas and been pining after him. But if that's the case, the show is failing once again when it comes to try and give us a couple to root for. Because when I saw them together, I groaned and really thought about fast forwarding. And in the future, I just might. Because Tomas and Eva don't have it either. They don't have it. The character of Tomas isn't going to work. They can try and force us on him. They're taking a good direction with Kat and him not having chemistry. But they're not going to take that direction with Eva when they probably should. They're going to pretend like they do have chemistry. And Eva's going to try her best because Amber's a great actress and she usually has chemistry with everyone. And once in a while, Tomas and Eva do have a spark. But it's not enough. It's just not enough.